What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about a few different horror topics in this video here today. We'll be talking about Scream 7, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Jeepers Creepers 3, and we'll be talking about Zach Cregger's upcoming film Weapons. Now, starting off here with Scream 7. Scream 7 is supposed to start filming 7 days from tomorrow, I believe. Set photos are bound to appear online as always. So if you aren't interested in spoilers or any potential spoilers, such as who wore a red shirt or who has a new car, don't engage with posts no one is forcing you to engage with. Of course, people are going to do what they please and then complain that it was everyone else's fault. No, it was yours. One thing I've overlooked with these recent casting announcements is it appears we're getting more hospital scenes in Scream 7 because, as we know, the working title is Scar Tissue. Scar Tissue is looking for nurses, doctors, and patients, according to another recent casting call. The subject they want applicants to include is Save Me. Now, with the word Save Me, that could mean nothing. But given this is a slasher film, perhaps we will have a near-death scene with a newbie similar to Jill's thwarted attack in Scream 4, where Cindy ended up saving her. Maybe we lose another lovable character like Gail, and we regroup at the hospital similar to Scream 5 after we lost Dewey, and that's when Sydney showed up and we got that sweet moment between Sam and Tara, who decided to leave town, which of course ended up getting them back at Stu Macher's house, whatever. So we'll see what comes of that. And for anyone who has been wondering why I haven't been posting much about Scream 7 on Twitter, it's just because the discourse surrounding Scream 7 is absolutely asinine at this point. There are people who are excited for it, there are people who aren't excited for it, and somewhere in between on both sides, you have mentally deranged folks who just cannot accept that the movie is going to happen and move on. One side won't accept that the other side isn't interested. One side won't accept that the other side is interested. And it's just like, okay, well, if you guys want to pull your hair out and lose sleep over it, that's fine. You do that. Us sane people will engage with Scream and all things related to a franchise we love when we want to. We're not going to be shaming each other back and forth all day. Now, let's talk about I Know What You Did Last Summer. So, Freddie Prinze Jr. in the past has described this upcoming film as unique. He also wasn't wanting to return at first until his friend, who was also friends with Sarah Michelle Gellar, who's also directing the film, Jen Robinson, convinced him to return as Freddy with a good idea that was presented to him. He's talked about this in the past, how he wasn't interested in doing another Legacy sequel because he thought it was forced. He doesn't think this one is forced, but we know Ray is supposed to be back as a fisherman. It seems like he has a child with Julie. With that in mind, what could possibly be so unique about this sequel, though? We see the Scream 5 influence shining through since we have a child of an original target being set in the same position her parents were 30 years ago. Madeline Klein did recently share this new set photo, which looks to be a callback to a moment Helen had during the original movie. I'm convinced Madeline will be our new Croaker Queen style character of the friend group, but I just want to hear from you guys at this point in the comment section. What do you think is going to be so unique and different about this film? What could the motive be? Or do you think this is all just an exaggeration from Freddie Prinze Jr.? What do you think it is that convinced him to sign on? What do you think Ray will be up to beyond being a fisherman? Do you think Ray will die? Just chime in down below. I want to know what you guys think is going to be so unique about this film, because I don't see us getting anything overly unique. I don't see it happening. I just see us getting something of competence that obliterates what came of the actual third film that came out all those years ago that I don't want to remember, which is why I refer to this one as 3. It's the appropriate third film that we should have gotten. Now, let's talk about Jeepers Creepers 3. We're jumping back in time a bit here today and going to discuss Jeepers Creepers 3. There was a scene in the film where the creeper realizes his secret with the hand had been exposed to those who targeted him during the movie. Now, recently we have storyboard art that has surfaced online. I was trying to track this down from if it originated somewhere else or if it originated on the subreddit that I found it on, and it did originate on the subreddit. Shout out to the user. You know who you are. I'm just trying to protect your identity just in case. But they've been in contact with individuals close to Jeepers Creepers, and this is how this ended up being surfaced online. It's legitimate. I know it's legitimate just from what I've seen in the past with my own sources. Now, the scene itself was pretty cringe. I thought it was a disservice to the monster, honestly, but I just always love when storyboard arts like this can be shared, and want to hear what you guys think about this artwork. Also, what made the scene even cringier was using sound bites from the original Jeepers film when it was time for the monster to scream. That was just very laughable in a way that should never happen during any horror movie. But you guys let me know what you think about this storyboard art down in the comment section below. And for those of you still looking forward to a potential 5th Jeepers Creepers, all I can say is this: while it hasn't yet been officially confirmed, we know that by following this lawsuit, there are plans and there are intentions to at least make a 5th movie. The holdup with the Jeepers Creepers 5 is that lawsuit. Once the lawsuit is resolved, I can only imagine that they are going to announce a 5th film once they get all the kinks worked out. And I would also imagine that they're going to try to do something at least on par with Jeepers Creepers 3, if not slightly better, since Jeepers Creepers 3 is the better of the 2 recent films that we've gotten, and you'll have all of the legacy stars back. But hopefully, if it's just like Jeepers Creepers 3 in terms of quality, hopefully it'll also just have a more competent narrative and just have a more eerie atmosphere that doesn't make you just constantly want to only rewatch the first 2 movies. Maybe you'll finally have 3 movies you can watch out of this franchise, but who knows. Let's talk about Zach Cregger's Weapons. So Weapons is supposed to drop in 2026, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's pushed up to a 2025 date, because I've heard so many positive things about the movie. Anyway, I've discussed how this movie is rumored to be like Longlegs, and it revolves around this teacher played by Julia Gardner whose class goes missing. She gets blamed for it since it's only her class. All the parents in town start labeling her things, spray painting her car. All this again is rumored, not confirmed, but again, it's going to be confirmed sooner rather than later. Something much more sinister is at play, though, beyond everybody wanting to blame the teacher. I've mentioned how this film reminded me of Hoodwink 2 at one point in the past, since it's broken into these different POVs. I just wanted to share a bit more about Weapons, more specifically about the POVs the story is told from. So the POVs in this film, allegedly in chronological order, will be as follows. The first one will be Justine, who is the teacher played by Julia Gardner. Then you have Archer, who is a father of one of the missing children named Matthew. Then you have Paul, a cop who Justine hooks up with at one point in the story. Then there's Anthony, a criminal who has a run-in with Paul. Then there's Andrew, the school principal, who tries to help Justine during the stressful ordeal. Then the last one we have here is Alex, the one child who didn't go missing from her class. Now, I will say I've seen online mentions of this film touching on things like police brutality and generational trauma, all of which are true from what I know about the story, but that is the order of the POVs that you can expect for Weapons, unless they've switched it up to some degree. A movie that I think has a pretty good narrative. I do think Weapons has a pretty good narrative, and I kind of understand the bidding war now, but at the same time, I'm like, it just seems like a great combination of all the things I've seen in countless other movies combined into this very great narrative. That's all I can say. From what I've read, it's phenomenal to me. It's not the most original, but I was captivated the entire time. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications, and never miss a video. In the description, I have links on my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there to let me know any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.